My journey in education started right after my GCSEs, when I started group tuition classes for local students for free. That then became one-to-one lessons online when COVID hit, and I continued tutoring throughout my studies when I was studying biomedical sciences in hopes of becoming a doctor, which has always been a dream of mine. However, my love for teaching overpowered that massively, and I continued tutoring for a total of 9 years, and eventually realized that there was a science in predicting things that may come up in GCSE exams. That actually came about as a result of students asking me to predict what might come up, and when I did, things came up in the real exams. I realized that there was something in that, and that's where KrissTuition was founded. I began by posting my predictions online, which went viral, especially when those predictions became reality and students were sharing and reposting on TikTok. I then began writing papers at your request. Those also became very popular, and I began to expand to the point where last year, in 2025, we wrote 79 predicted papers, and I couldn't do it by myself at that point.
My role at KrissTuition is researching, analysing and writing science predicted papers. The research involves the thorough analysis of past papers where we analyse exactly which topics came up and to what extent, and then put it into a big spreadsheet.
I have been an experienced examiner for GCSE chemistry and science originally. For 7 of those years I was a principal examiner, which involved a full process of production of the papers, delivery and overseeing of those papers. Alongside that, I've had the opportunity to work for KrissTuition to produce papers in the same format, using the same rigorous process that we used for the real papers when I worked for the exam board.
That's when I met some wonderful people like Joe Wells, Carl Beltran, and some other people that work in the background that you don't ever get to see on the screens. They do a fantastic job in making sure that every stage of our rigorous process is done exactly in that way, rigorously.
I've always been passionate about maths and science. I started my career in teaching as a maths mentor. I then became a science mentor, and then towards the start of COVID, I was teaching my own full timetable of science classes in my old secondary school, teaching all 3 sciences. Then towards the end of COVID, I also started my own business, Ignito Tuition, and eventually that allowed me to leave my job as a secondary teacher to focus on that business.
I have a background in research with a PhD in electrochemistry, but more importantly, a real passion for teaching. And for the past 30 years, I've taught science in various schools across Norfolk. Primarily, I'm teaching GCSE and A-level chemistry.
At KrissTuition, we're constantly evolving, and that's thanks to your feedback. So thank you for supporting us, and remember, we have so many new exciting things coming in the future, and we genuinely cannot wait to share them with you. So thank you for following our journey, and look forward to more to come.
That's good, I like that. And we did the bit of move, so there's